Part of learning is dying. Dying to your old self, your old ways. It's a complete renewing of the mind. Realizing you can't keep doing the same thing expecting different results. About 4 months ago, I hit rock bottom in my career, my YouTube career. And I know it's kind of taboo to talk about things like this, real things. You know, the truth isn't sexy. Got to keep up that image, that persona, right? Make sure that I look nice and successful at all times. See, as an influencer, if that's what you want to label me, most of us are good at two things: staying fit and looking like we make a lot of money. But when it comes to spirituality, relationships, mental health, it's a complete nightmare. For me, it was more so financially. Over the last few years, my income has just spiraled down. I've lost all my momentum and I got complacent. I lost my drive. I mean, you guys saw my content. It was whack. It was repetitive. I only released like 2 videos a month, and those 2 videos were totally just uninspired. I did them because I needed that 4K a month to keep my lights on. I lost that fire in my belly, and over the last few years, my addiction just kept getting worse and worse. There was even a time where I started smoking. I got lost into movies, TV shows. I was playing video games. I was spending way too much money on clothes and shoes, thinking those things were gonna make me happier, just trying to fill in the empty gaps of my life with useless things. Think of things like,
well, you know, it's okay just to enjoy yourself sometimes, just to have a little fun, not take yourself so serious.
And that was the monologue that I would constantly play over and over in my head every time I immersed myself into instant gratification. So today I want to discuss a few things with you guys that helped me get my life back on track. Number 1, you gotta hit the reset button. Now, my journey began earlier this year when we did the 21-day Wake Up O Sleeper Challenge on my second channel. A lot of you guys did it with me, and it was just a great opportunity for us to reset some things and kind of just start off with a clean new slate. We kicked things off by buzzing our heads, and every week for 3 consecutive weeks, there was a new set of challenges. I believe on the last week we did a full dopamine fast, which for me was the toughest, bro. It was no social media, no music, no movies, no TV shows, no sex, no nothing. If you wanted to get a little dopamine spike, you had to get it naturally by reading books, going on hikes, exercising, running, taking your girl out on more dates and spending time with her. You had to get a little creative, and so this allowed for us to get our dopamine levels just back on a more natural state. These days, our dopamine levels are completely destroyed. I remember I took my nephew to a movie a couple years ago, Sonic the Hedgehog, and the whole time, the dude couldn't even watch the movie. He couldn't even sit through it. He had to be on his phone the whole time. But I mean, how many of us do the same exact thing in our day-to-day lives? When we're on the toilet, we're scrolling. When we're at the gym, heads down, we're scrolling. Every time we're in the shower, music's blasting, right? I remember back a couple years ago, I shouldn't have done it, but I got my brother some stupid Bluetooth sleeping eye mask that literally has speakers in it so you can listen to music while you're going to sleep. Like, what the frick, bro? And this is the problem. I mean, at least this is one of the biggest problems, is we've let technology completely take control of our lives. We're consumed, we're addicted. We're the walking dead, basically. So hey, whether you follow my 21-day challenge or not, I'll link it down below, but either way, as a man, if you want to take back control of your life, it starts with a complete reset. See, a man is most happy in his primitive state. This is where he's going to find the most joy. As technology advances, as style evolves, our bodies, especially our minds, it hasn't really evolved. I mean, taking a look at all the people in the world, most of us have actually probably devolved. I don't even know if that's a word, but hey, that just goes to show you how much more stupider we're getting, right? Nah, but for real, what I'm trying to say here is we got to get back to basics. It's wild. How is it that we live in the most safest, progressive, technologically advanced time in human history, yet more people now than ever are depressed, lazy, anxious? It's because we've immersed ourselves into these devices, and we gotta break away. Don't get me wrong, this thing right here can be a great, useful tool. It can, but it can also be a very dangerous weapon if used improperly in very excessive amounts. So with that said, hey look, as a man, you almost gotta get, which is number 2, you gotta get a little mad. And I don't mean mad as in like bitter and depressed. I'm talking about like getting intense, getting a little aggressive, right? Like if someone kept provoking you. For instance, 10 years ago, I had a buddy of mine who was over at my house one night, and he just kept antagonizing me, right? He kept like pushing me on my chest saying,
Hey bro, come on, let's take it outside. Come on bro, let's see what you got. Come on bro, let's go.
and I kept saying, no bro, I'm cool, I just wanna chill. And he just kept getting up in my face, right? Kept taunting me and taunting me and taunting me. And for some of you who know me personally, you guys know I'm not a fighter, bro. That's just not me. Like, I try to refrain from stuff like that. I just want to be chill, cool, have a good time. And but he kept just getting up in my grill. And finally, at one point, I couldn't take it no more, bro. And so I literally grabbed him and I picked him up like a rag doll and threw him on my wall. And a lot more went down that night, but let's just say from that night forward, I never saw the dude again. So hey, look, you gotta kind of get like this with your life. You gotta pick yourself up and grab yourself and be like, hey, you know what? No more living like this. Done. And you gotta put your foot down and you gotta walk that straight and narrow path, at least for a little while until you start to actually gain some momentum. You can't be the type of guy that's like, oh,
You know, just a couple hours of video games every night is fine, you know? I work hard during the day, you know, it's okay to enjoy myself, but, you know, just an hour or two of scrolling on TikTok before I go to bed, I mean, what's the big deal?
But hey, look, if you're real with yourself, you know 1 hour turns into 2, 2 turns into 3. Then you see that pretty girl with a big old nice round booty. Next thing you know, you're logging on to your favorite prawn site. Now it's 3 a.m. in the morning. You got to get up at 7. Your sleeping schedule is just jacked. The next day, you're tired as frick. Therefore, you don't make it to the gym. You're just way too tired. You don't contribute to anyone's life. You're barely scraping by, and then you think to yourself, well, you know, might as well just enjoy the rest of my day. So you go ahead and go through the KFC drive-thru, get yourself some nice fried chicken. You head back home, and you're eating that chicken, and now you're scrolling through TikTok once again with your big old greasy chicken fingers smearing all over your phone. And then all of a sudden, there it is again. The booty. And then the whole process restarts itself. It's an endless loop. So circling back here, if this sounds a little like your life, I know it sounded a little like mine a few months ago, but you gotta get mad. You gotta get aggressive about this, about your life. My favorite athlete of all time is Kobe Bryant, and usually towards the end of each game, something truly spectacular would happen. All of a sudden, you'd see it in his eyes. That Mamba mode, Mamba mentality, it would activate, and he'd just take over the game. It's the same look that Tom Brady gets in the fourth, right? And it's the same thing that you need to do. You gotta get aggressive, get fierce, and activate that switch. All the things that give you instant gratification, you gotta shut them down, bro. No more. You got an alcohol addiction, take that bottle and smash it on the ground. You got a video game addiction, unplug that PlayStation and throw it in your closet. You got a Oreo addiction, Pop-Tart addiction, a Taki addiction. Raid your pantry, grab all those things and just throw them out. You got a sex addiction, remove that stupid dating app off your phone then. Remove the temptations. Think about it, bro. You can't be tempted if the temptation isn't there. It's simple, bro. I was talking to my dad about this morning. Sometimes the most simplest advice can fix the most complicated problems in your life. You hear all these people saying things like,
oh, you know, I just can't overcome all my temptations and addictions.
Well, bro, have you ever thought about just removing the temptations then?
That's an idea.
Simple stuff, bro. And it's funny, I get a lot of haters coming through that say things like,
oh, you know, Dre, you say all this stuff's like bad for you. You say that like you shouldn't be scrolling on Instagram and going on TikTok and looking at videos, but you contradict yourself because you say you want us to subscribe and watch your videos.
And it's like, look, bro, I get what you're saying. I get you. But YouTube, at least for me, is a completely different kind of platform. I use YouTube strictly for learning and self-development. Like, I literally watch 0% of entertainment on YouTube. I mean, I literally just found out who Mr. Beast was like 2 weeks ago. I heard his name here and there throughout the years, but never knew who he was, because I'm just not like immersed into that side of YouTube. I'm immersed into the self-improvement side. And I'm not saying this to put myself on some pedestal and make me sound like I'm, you know, higher up than you guys. I'm just saying, in my opinion, YouTube is kind of an exception because it can literally change and transform a man's life and take him from 0 to 100. Anyways, start that new chapter in your life, bro. And number 3, my last one, get cheesy with it, bro. That's literally the last tip. Tip number 3, get cheesy. Growing up, my parents taught me all these kinds of cheesy things like creating dream boards, and so that way you can envision your success. They had me write down all my goals. They had me all into self-talk and had me waking up every morning looking at myself in the mirror and proclaiming things like, today I declare that everything I put my hands to will prosper and succeed. And it's funny because now that I just turned 30, like a couple months ago, I've realized that all that cheesy stuff, like the Mandalorian says, it's the way. It's definitely the way. Look, you start really envisioning your life. You start seeing it out in front of you, written down on a piece of paper. You start really setting those goals and laying them out in front of you. Change is gonna come. You got a bow and arrow, but no target. How do you know where to shoot? You gotta define your destination. For years, I was stuck around the 600K subscriber mark here on YouTube. I mean, a lot of you guys saw. And at one point, I was regressing. I was actually losing followers every single month. I was literally in the negative. Instead of YouTube paying me, I was having to pay YouTube. I'm just kidding. Nah, but for real, my income was so low, I actually started getting scared. I was having to pull money out of my savings just to pay my bills. So I got laser focused. I wrote down specifically what I needed to do every single day. Instead of just thinking to myself, oh, you know, I'll do about 2 or 3 videos this month. I wrote down, I will post 5 videos a week to hit my goal of 1 million subscribers by the end of the year. Then after a couple weeks of doing that, I started to make some extra cash, so I thought to myself, let's reinvest that. And I actually hired a couple people. That way I could spend less time editing, which takes forever, and spend more time creating and recording more videos. So then my new goal, which I wrote down earlier this last month, was to post 1 video every single day. And now, whether I hit 1 million subscribers or not, it's not really the point. Well, I mean, it is the point, but if I don't hit 1 million subscribers, which I will, but if I don't, which I will, hey, at least I'll end up way further than I would if I just kept on the route I was going, which was pretty much just doing nothing and just wallowing in self-pity, thinking to myself things like, oh,
I'm never gonna be one of those million subscriber type of guys. You know, I'll just never be one of those guys with major success. That's just not me. That's not what God wants me to be.
I mean, that's literally the stuff I was telling myself, bro. And that's the thing. Whatever you believe about yourself, you're exactly 100% right. My mama always said, if you shoot for the moon and you end up just hitting the side of the barn, hey, at least you're up off the ground or something like that. I don't know. Something like that. So even if I don't hit 1 million subs by the end of the year, which I will, hey, at least it's a lot better than being stuck at 600K for like 3 years straight. And that's the thing, bro. I think Hamza said this. He said, any progress made in this day and age, it's extravagant, bro. It really is. And you should literally give yourself a nice pat on the back. Really, look, it's hard to improve oneself these days. It really is, with all the comfort and convenience that's constantly offered to us, right? And all that instant gratification. So I encourage you and I encourage myself, hey, let's pick ourselves back up. Let's get aggressive. Let's get mission focused. Get on a new wavelength, right? Get into that flow state. Your life can literally change in a few weeks' time just by shifting your mind and making a few little tweaks, few little minor adjustments. That's all it takes. It's not easy, but it's simple. It's a simple method. So with that said, hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Please give it a nice big thumbs up, subscribe if you are new, and hit that notifications button to be informed when I drop new content. And hey, if you want to embrace your masculinity, you want to set a new standard, new mission for your life, click this video right here. This one will catapult your life to that next level. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace always.